three of your amazing favorite travel agents from Travel Advisors Unlimited with us on the most amazing day today, which is National Flip Flop Day. And with National Flip Flop Day, we want to talk about the Margaritaville at Sea because Lisa, Kim, and Michelle all went on the Margaritaville at Sea, which their big staple is a flip flop. Yeah. So each of them are going to take a little bit of time to share their very different experiences aboard the Margaritaville at Sea. And then we're just going to ask some questions. So if you have any questions or if you're ever interested in doing something like this, either if it's an add-on to an existing vacation, or if you just need a quick weekend getaway, these girls will be able to take care of you. So Lisa, why don't we start with you?
Okay, so I went on the Margaritaville at Sea without the highest expectations because it has a little bit of a reputation. But the company is very much working on rebranding and refixing itself. So I think the best way to look at Margaritaville at Sea is a brand new cruise line. They have completely gotten rid of a whole bunch of their higher ups, people who are in charge of things, and got people from Disney Cruise Line, they got people from Holland Carnival, they got people from the theme parks. So it's a completely new company. So anything that you heard about them in the past probably kind of needs to stay in the past as far as your thought, because they're working really hard to change things that happened before. They've also bought out people who own them, a whole long story that we got to learn all about. But basically just think of them as a new company. But still, they're not like other cruise lines. I would say it was the most chill vibe I've had on a cruise, I think would be the best way to put it. And it's not going to be like your Royal Caribbean, your Carnival. It's a completely different beast. I would like to call it like, you know, those nice hotels you stay at, like the Holiday Inn Express or something like that, that has a continental breakfast that's included. Think about that.
Favorites.
Yeah. And, you know, I say the Holiday Inn Express, maybe the new saying can be like, it's okay, I can do it. I went to Margaritaville at Sea. Maybe that will be the new saying. I don't know. But as far as like the food goes, I would say it was kind of like that, except they had all four of your meals. Like a continental breakfast at Holiday Inn Express, it's pretty good. You know, they have the eggs, they have the waffles, they have, you know, the different things, but it's nothing crazy going to blow you out of the water. Like, oh my gosh, that was like the best hamburger, the best, you know, whatever that I've ever had. Is the food good? Yeah, it's good, but it's nothing like a 5-star restaurant. Okay. It's not that level. But if you go into it of thinking that it's like a Holiday Inn Express, but all inclusive, I think you'll have your expectations set to where it is. Now, this was my first trip without my daughters. I have a 2-year-old and an 8-month-old. And all I could think about this was like, this was the perfect getaway for like a mom's trip, a girl's trip, where you didn't have to be away from the family for too long, but you also got disconnected, that if anything happened at home, it wasn't your responsibility. Somebody else could take care of it. You weren't gone that long. It was like a perfect sweet spot for me because I have some severe anxiety about leaving my children, because clearly I'm the only one capable in the whole wide world of ever taking care of a child.
You go, girl. Comes with that label mom, I think. But
exactly. But I had a lot of fun. There's a lot of things to do on board. It kept me distracted. My anxiety did not kick in, shockingly, which everyone here was pretty impressed and proud of me for. But it was a fun cruise. You kind of made your own fun with who you went with. If you went by yourself, you might not have had the best time if you're not like a social outgoing person to make friends. But we went as like a girls trip, and I had a ton of fun. And it's a great weekend getaway, or a middle of the week, a short little getaway. It was perfection, I would say.
That's a really great view. You know, I love that. Kim, what about you? What were your thoughts with that?
I don't know. Lisa said it all. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, she did. She really summed it up well for us, didn't she?
I know, right? I'm like, how do you top that? Again, I was like Elisa. I had heard the bad reviews, didn't know what to expect. I did take it in stride that I was going on a 2-day cruise to the Bahamas. It was just a little quick girls trip. I really wasn't expecting anything fancy. And I wasn't disappointed. The food was good. The shows were good. We had there was a couple of good acts in there the dancers were good. They had a little bit of gymnastics. They had some I don't know, magic shows, and they had it was just really it's different. It was not a Broadway show, but it was not a dump show either. So it was very good. The ship was fairly clean. Not any worse than any other cruise line that I've been on.
Okay.
My room was clean. The servers were clean. They were very helpful. They were very responsive to anything that you had. You know, if you had any questions or anything, needed anything, pretty quick to jump out and get it for you. Um, I just I didn't have any complaints. Like Elisa, I was expecting Motel 6 and I got Holiday Inn.
There we go.
So it was a nice surprise. Yeah.
Holiday Inn Express.
Holiday Inn Express,
Oh,
or the
Express,
Best Western
yes.
Plus.
Breakfast. Yes.
Yeah.
And the food was good.
Okay. Yeah, so it's, it's like it seems like you guys are saying there's no like shining thing like the Guy Ferrari burgers on Carnival or something like that. But it is something
Correct.
where it's good for an all-inclusive like expectation stay. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right, Michelle, what do you think then?
Well, I mean, I can really reiterate a lot of what the other two just said. I went into it calling it the floating Motel 6, and I think Kimberly really nailed that. It's not the Motel 6 at all. It was comfortable. It was clean. The rooms were spacious to be, we had the large
Those
porthole.
were big rooms.
And so for the price point that it was actually exceptional, I would say, because I did expect less for what the average price of these cruises runs. And so I think it was a very good deal for the consumer. I think the length of time was a great option that the other cruise lines aren't giving you right now. That, like Alyssa said, it can be not a huge commitment for people who don't have a lot of leave, but they want to just get out of town. I've had clients book it for that who enjoyed it. And like you said, the staff was efficient. They were very friendly. They were very receptive to suggestions or any needs that you might have. The food was better than I expected it to be, for sure. Like you said, it was not 5-star elegance finery, but it was absolutely nice dinners and appropriate service levels for a tablecloth dinner like I enjoy on a cruise. Was it 5-star dining? No. Did I pay anywhere near 5-star? Absolutely not.
Wow.
So I mean, it was clean, it was comfortable. There was a lot more space in most of the areas than I expected as well. Sometimes I'm at a point in life that I don't always like to be up against everybody else. And I really never got that feeling on that ship. And I have on some of the others. And so I appreciated that it was not small or cramped in any way either.
Very cool. Well, no, and it seems like that's kind of like the number one thing with the reviews of the Margaritaville at Sea is that the rooms are something to be known about. So they are kind of known for maybe not their food or, for, high quality this or that, but the rooms are very well kind of put together. They're very clean. Nobody's ever really had any major issues about that. And again, you're getting what you pay for. Yeah. And, so a couple of things is that you guys had mentioned up is that there was some rebranding here. So when I went on Margaritaville at Sea all by myself, it was the inaugural sailing with Jimmy Buffett. And so it was before all this stuff. And yes, you guys, I had not told you this because I wanted to see what this new branding was, and knowing that you guys were going not only together on this to have this experience together, but also with some of what you guys love to call the cleanup crew, because all three of you, when I've talked to you, have literally kind of called them the cleanup crew, the new management that has come on to rebrand this, what I like to say, a Floridian's dream vacation. So for all of those clients that you three have, those weekend getaways, you can add an all-inclusive stay in the Bahamas to this trip if you want to make it longer. You can add excursions onto things. You could go swimming with the pigs. You can go snorkeling or diving. there's so much to do, right? With all of these things, it's not so
Yeah.
much the ship experience, it's that let's just get away and have an experience, right?
Yeah, that was
It's
something.
also perfect for a first time cruiser that's not sure if they're going to get seasick or anything.
Mm,
One,
Yes.
because it's such a short distance, so you don't go very fast. There's not a lot of motion. And two, if you do get sick, you're off in 2 days.
yeah.
Yes, that's a great point. Another thing that I liked, because I originally looked at it as this is only going to be a good product for the people who are in Florida who want a quick getaway. Because
Yeah.
for those who don't know, I am not in Florida like the other ladies on the call. And for me, it's a little bit further of a drive, but it is really, it's a neat product, especially at the price point, to add on to something else.
Yeah.
So maybe you've got sometime if you're not in Florida but you're going to go down and you're going to go to Disney, and a Disney cruise is a phenomenal product. I'd love to talk to you about it, but if that's not in your budget right now,
Yeah.
2 nights at sea on Margaritaville at sea
Mhm.
absolutely could fit in your
Perfect.
budget. Be a great extension to your land trip while you're there. Or say you have family or friends that you're going to visit in the area, but you still want those couple of extra days with you and your loved one just to get away, relax,
Yeah.
chill, because it's a super chill vibe. That is really a big thing about Margaritaville at sea, is that it's a very chill vibe. But I love that it's a great cruise that you can add on to extend another vacation. It doesn't have to be a standalone product. So it's very easy to integrate into your other things. And I will say, their process of parking and getting on the ship was very seamless and smooth. So it's not like some things where you're like, oh, I'm going to have to invest and lose a whole day in this process. I don't think any of us had that issue getting on board. Did you, ladies?
It took a really long time to get through the line by the
Yeah.
time me and Kim got there.
Yeah, because we
Oh,
got there a little bit later.
I would say we
That
waited
was-
at least an hour
yeah.
getting through. That's something that I was going to
Yeah.
say is definitely something I would definitely invest in. And Kim did it this weekend of the faster to
Yes.
chill package.
Yeah.
Because that
So
helps you
much
getting
better.
on
I
and
was
off,
on in
right?
like 15 minutes. Yep.
Okay. Well, and I was on within probably 25 minutes, but I got there earlier. So I think that would be another point
Yeah.
then. Yes, if plan an early arrival, which for me was great because then I was able to get on the ship and start to chill. But if you don't think you're going to be able to get that early arrival, then invest in that extra
Yeah.
package, which is not extravagant purchase at all, correct?
Correct. So with it, they advertise it as $99, but when you purchase it prior to your cruise, I think it ended up being $89.
Okay.
It's
And
well
that's for
worth the $89.
Okay.
Is that for
And
your
gets-
party?
So
Yeah, that gets you expedited.
yes,
Basically. Okay, cool.
that's
So-
per room.
And I think I'm going to bounce off of what Michelle was saying, just because if you're somebody who wants to have that land sea vacation, and I know you had mentioned Disney or whatever, but I'm also thinking that this is going to be more of a cruise ship aimed towards, like if somebody is not from Florida, right? And
Mhm.
I'm just going outside of the box here. Let's say you have teenagers that want to do Universal Orlando, or they want to do Fort Lauderdale. They've got the Margaritaville down
Or
there.
even just young adults. Yeah.
Yeah, or something like that. They've got the Margaritaville down there in Fort Lauderdale, Miami area, and it's right on the beach, and you can do all the stuff and things. It's a gorgeous resort down there. Anywho, what's great about let's just say Universal Orlando, you're going to do 4 nights there. And I'm almost thinking, and we'll get into it just here in 1 second, the Margaritaville at sea is going over to Tampa side. So you're going to be able to have a longer ship sailing over on that side with the new ship coming to port.
Yes.
But if you wanted just an extra couple of nights and then you could fly home out of Fort Lauderdale or whatever, Miami on that side. Right, you could do that. So, and then I'm also thinking like, just only because Michelle's here and she's a diver, and if you wanted to do a catamaran, something, these older kids experiences like the swimming with the pigs that you have to be a specific age to do that, they could do these bohemian adventures, while they're over there on that 2-night cruise, right, with these excursions.
And I would
So
say
another option you were talking about, to reflect back off of Elisa, if you're in the Orlando area and want to hop down there, you can do the Bright Line. She did the Bright
So
Line.
easy. So easy, the Bright
Yes.
Line.
I love your
Yep.
videos of the bright line. They're my favorite.
I do too.
And as long as you actually show up and you don't have an issue, with parking of SunPass Plus or, ePass Plus, even though that's not what their little sign says, Brightline is great. Just park in parking garage C and it's no problem. And just don't get fancy thinking, oh, I'm on time, I'm early, let me go make a video and then refilm it like 5 or 6 times and then realize, oh my gosh, I'm about to miss my train. Don't do that. But
Yeah.
otherwise the Brightline is very, very nice. Super comfortable seats, nice AC. They got snacks coming around, although they're very expensive. So buy your snacks before you get on the Brightline, but that's a whole nother video. Just don't go to Brightline with me, because I'll probably make you late in some way, shape, or form. But I'm 1 for 1. I missed one, I made one,
It's perfect. Well, and what's really great is that we can help book those train tickets too. So
Yes.
Americans drive.
Make it a whole
and
package.
fly. Yeah, we're not like Europeans that train everywhere. So we can absolutely hold your hand on purchasing those tickets. Michelle, what were you going to say?
I don't know. I'm still laughing about the train videos, but no, I was just going to throw in a little side note that you did talk about for people doing the Atlantic side, the Paradise.
Yeah.
The port of Palm Beach that the ship sails out of there is right near some fantastic diving. So for people who do want to go into that South Florida area and do some scuba diving, there are some fantastic sites, and we know some of the suppliers that take people out and do some excursions there at sea and off some of the bridges and things like that right in that area. So that is, like you said, another great tie-in for somebody who wants to go do something like that. But then that's fun, but tiring. Then you can hit that ship and relax for a couple of days, and that's great.
That sounds absolutely perfect. Absolutely perfect.
So, but I am, I was just going to say, but like you had talked about earlier, we got to experience the Paradise on that side, but I'm really excited about everything about to happen with the Islander coming on the Tampa Bay side. And I think that is going to be a phenomenal ship and product as well, because that's going to give you the little bit longer cruises. And again, it's going to be long enough to be a standalone vacation for some people, but being over there by Port of Tampa Bay, you've got your tie-ins now with your Busch Garden guests. And then for families, I think that ship with its size and design is going to have more for families as well. And you've got your Legoland and your family events in that area. So I think that's going to be a great tie-in with those events as well.
That's super smart.
And something I would say about the Islander, before it goes on its first sailing, you want to go ahead and make your booking. Because right now they have crazy sales and deals on it.
Yes.
Because people are like waiting and holding their breath to see how it goes. Margaritaville at Sea has an amazing refund policy that if you're like, I don't know, I want to see how it goes before I buy it, get it now. You can see how the first ones go. And as long as your booking is 60 plus days out, you can get a refund of your deposit still. So there's like a no danger zone of like lock in your price now, see that it goes off and it's exactly what you think it's going to be, or maybe even better. And then you're locked in at this lower price with all their crazy good deals that they have going on right now. And then, hey, if it goes off and it's like, oh my gosh, what is that? Which I really don't think it will be. But what if you still have that safety net that you could cancel it and get all your money back, which no other cruise line really has such a good refund policy that lets you still get the low rates and be refundable. So you're not getting a different rate by making it refundable. Everybody's getting that super low rate.
Same rate. Yeah.
I love that. I absolutely love that. And I've already put out an email to try to get all of you guys over on that shift now. Because I mean, I feel like firsthand experience, because listen, just like everybody said, all we see are these TikToks and YouTubes and Instagram reels and videos of, how horrible this cruise line is. And, they're really trying hard to rebrand it. And I feel like you guys have a straight moral line and you're very honest, and you're going to tell somebody if it's up to their standard or not. You're setting the expectations for the client. Is it going to be the Ritz-Carlton? Absolutely not. But if you're looking to get away for 2 nights with your friends just to chill, they got the license to do so. So you get a license to chill at Margaritaville.
And they've got some
There you
crazy,
go.
They have some crazy good things for groups, especially on the Paradise. They don't ever have everything ironed out for the Islander, but on the Paradise, you could get a family reunion going together there. You could get a girls group. You could get, whatever kind of group you want to get together, your friends, whatever it may be. And they'll let you have space as long as it's not in use. You don't have to pay to get a little space that you guys could all meet up. Like a lot of cruise lines would make you have to do.
Yeah.
They have
They
special
discounts,
amenities, yeah.
special amenities. There's a lot of value that you can get with an already really well-priced cruise, which for a family reunion, a 2-day cruise would be great. You could really have time to reconnect. You still have other things you can do that you're not all up in each other's, hair and business, but you can hang out as much as you'd like, but also have your space to, go, and everybody gets a vacation. Rather than, you go for a family reunion, well, it's not always most vacation central. This way, everybody gets a vacation. Nobody's in charge of cooking. Nobody's in charge of organizing anything. Everybody gets to just go have fun and, hang out together. So I think that's a huge value there.
That's huge because I'm consistently always in the damn kitchen whenever I have family over. And sometimes I just want to sit. I mean, I like being in kitchen, it's maybe my control issues, but I digress. But it's, and I was just thinking as you're sitting here or as you're talking, I'm like, you know what? For those kids, spring break, college summer breaks, right? They're working, they're going to school full time. But then what happens when they get engaged? We have bachelor parties and bachelorette parties. It's that safe environment of knowing that this is a 2-night, 3-day getaway where you can get them an excursion, something fun, maybe their own, catamaran to go snorkeling on, and we set up snacks. So there could be a whole situation. This could be a destination wedding situation where you could have, the wedding at the all-inclusive resort in the Bahamas and the party is on the ship. You know what I mean? Where it's affordable at every price point. So really, it's our job to think outside of the box. So if these ideas that we're shooting off, if it's your retirement community, if it's firefighters or first responders of some sort, if it's teachers who are just tired of the BS of all school year, right? Or corporate events. I've got 2
That was where I was fixing to go, yeah.
Right? I have 2 inquiries from corporate what do you call those people? The people that when you get
executives.
No, when you get into trouble, you have to go talk
Human
to
resources.
HR. Human resources.
HR. I have from 2 corporate HR people. They want to set up their, they put on like a yearly thing and they're like, oh, can you help us set up? Usually it's Vegas or Arizona.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, this would be sweet to do.
You can rent out the whole ship.
Yeah. Yeah. And then they could do, they could have a conference or like an award thing in the little stage area where they put the shows on if they want, because they chartered the whole ship and it's still affordable and within the price points that they're giving me for them. So it's like, you know what? It's just such a good, fun, clean, affordable, safe way to be able to take a vacation. I think it's great. I think a church could do that. Anyways,
another thing that's
Maybe a
really
liberal
cool
church.
about Margaritaville is their drink package. They don't have the traditional one, like
Right,
where you have the unlimited. They have a wristband that's like an RFID thing, and you are allowed to and encouraged to share it with the people in your stateroom. So
Okay.
you're free to buy 10 drinks for $100. It's a 2-day cruise. That's plenty of alcohol for one person or 2 people or however you want to split it. And you can prepay it, then you don't have that big surprise bill at the end, which is why people like the drink package, but you also don't feel the need that you need to drink 15 drinks a day to get your money's worth.
Right.
You're already saving the money. And if you don't use it all that first cruise that you go on, if you go on another cruise, you can bring it back on with you and use it.
Love that. See,
I did it.
See, and
I just did it. Yeah.
And here's exactly the thing. You guys would have no idea unless if these girls did their homework. And this is why the value of working with a travel agent is still predominant. You need to not be clicking away at all these deals. What you could do is when you're online and you're scrolling through and you're like, oh my God, this looks like such a great deal. Before you click to start inquiring, screenshot it and send it to one of your favorite travel advisors at Travel Advisors Unlimited. Because not only can we make sure that all the T's are crossed and I's are dotted, but maybe there's extra onboard credit, perks, or upgrades you won't be able to see or get, but these ladies will be able to. So you don't want to miss out on that. Anyways, we're going to wrap up because we don't want to keep you on and be like, I'm bored. Wrap it up, ladies. But thank you, ladies, so much for taking time out of your life to work. Even though it looks like a vacation.
Yeah, it's still work.
It's work. So
We ask a lot of questions.
yes, and that's good though, because
Yes.
there's no dumb question. Every question is valid. And this week we're going to post at least every single day something about the Margaritaville at Sea to get you excited as much as we're excited about putting you on this cruise, right? So any last comments at all before we sign off?
Nope.
Nope, all good. Okay, and you know what? We might add another section or segment onto this, maybe just talking about individual things like entertainment, one that's about just the food, one that's just about activities, one that's about wait and see what happens with their new ship that's coming out of Tampa. So
Oh.
stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining us, you guys, and we'll talk to you real soon. Bye.
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 Bye.